So yeah, so just in case you see me looking down, right? I have I have some piece of papers that I've actually written some questions to look into. So most times the question I get is what is this cybersecurity? Is there a way you can explain it to me to understand? So what I actually tell people, or what I actually make people to understand, is that the best way to understand cybersecurity is, you see, the your normal way of securing a place, where for example you have a restaurant, right? And this restaurant, maybe high profile people do come there to eat. So what is the best way to secure the place? Probably you need to call bouncers, maybe police, military, whatever you want to secure that place. Now, this is security. The security you already know. But whenever you hear cyber, what should come to your head is globe, digital, something that has to do with online. And if somebody asks you then what is cybersecurity, just make these two together, right? Cybersecurity here is securing your online assets, right? And you see that especially during the pandemic, most companies went online, and threats also increased, right? Many people were hacking to their database, stealing information and all that. So the need for cybersecurity professional was very in high demand, because it's not something the manager can do. You need to hire somebody to do this. So this actually what cybersecurity is, trying to secure your online assets or your digital assets. It is very, very important. And somebody again also asked me that, so why is the demand so high, right? The demand is extremely high because, first, when people hear about cybersecurity, what comes to their head is there coding? And once you say yes, there is a bit of coding, they are already running. So imagine if 100 persons want to transition to cybersecurity, and they all have the same feeling of there is coding, right? You see that the demand is actually dropping. The demand is actually increasing because the supply, the people getting into the cybersecurity field, is dropping, because they feel this phobia of there is coding, and therefore I wouldn't want to do coding. So you see that the demand will keep increasing whether you like it or not, because many people are still scared of coding, right? Another thing that also that people ask is the salary. If you check Glassdoor, which is like a company that keeps track of salary of most companies, right? You see that the average is $102,000 a year. That doesn't mean that once you become a cybersecurity professional, you start earning this. That is, to be honest, but you grow from each stage, and you keep growing, right? There is always room for growth compared to some other kind of jobs that there might not be that kind of growth, right? So is really something you should look into if you actually wish to change your career, especially if you want to transition to tech. It is extremely important. Another thing most people ask me is, what is the best way to transition, right? The truth remains that almost all the information that you need to transition to tech is free and accessible. You can actually access this information from anywhere, especially if you go to YouTube, some other platforms, right? But the problem here is most persons, right, don't have the roadmap, right? They don't actually know exactly what they should learn. So you see them today, they're learning programming from without even doing the basics, right? They have jumped to the advanced side of the programming, and 2 days, 3 days, the passion will die, and then they will tell you, I tried it didn't work. And next time they want to transition to tech, their first question is there programming? And if you tell them yes, they are running. But if you start from the basics, and keep building, right, you will probably know that the most difficult thing in this world is easy to learn. So that is, if you ask me, that is the best way to learn, right? Start from scratch. Don't be scared of failing. See the failing as experience that you are gaining. Another thing we also want to talk about today is, as I said, nothing is stopping you from transitioning. You can, only you yourself can stop yourself from transitioning to tech. And you can't say because you don't want to learn it, therefore another person shouldn't learn it, right? If you allow the other person to learn it without learning it, what happens? The person learning it might use it to harm you. Not actually harm per se, but like to attack you or whatever. So the best thing to do is to also equip yourself with that knowledge, learn it and protect it. You need to put your password, you need to do this, you need to do that. You don't need a tech background to know that. That is actually what cybersecurity is all about, right? You learning exactly what to do and what not to do, how to protect this, and how what to do when something like this should happen. You don't really need those fundamental tech knowledge, provided you can read, you can understand, you can pay attention to details, right? You can understand fast. Why not? Even person can transition to tech. Uh, Most persons also ask, is there a job? The truth is that there is a lot of jobs for it, lots. But if you are not into tech, right, I wouldn't advise you to be talking about the jobs till you get those skills. The reason is because if you focus on getting the job, you will lose the skill, right? But if you focus on getting the skills, once you've gotten the skills that you need, what happens? Jobs will come for you because they need you to solve those problems. I don't know if you get the point. If you focus on getting this job at first, you will lose getting the skill. But if you focus on getting the skills, right, and you've gotten the skills, some person must pay you to do a certain stuff for them. That is where it becomes necessary to get the skill before talking about the jobs, because the job will always be there. The job will always be there. Yeah. So as I said, the job will always be there. You don't need to be talking about the jobs at first when you've not actually started. It will just distract your whole learning process. Another thing you should also note that, as I said before, you are not learning it doesn't mean that your neighbor is not learning it, right? So don't be left out. You don't need to actually take my course. That is not what I'm saying. But as I said, go to YouTube. Just start to create that passion within yourself. Start to have that feeling. The only reason why you are hearing me right now is because you are making use of a technology. You are making use of a tech product, right? That is the way you can listen to me. But I can tell you that 90% of the person listening to me right now don't know what MFA or two-factor authentication is, which is extremely important, right? Before you know it, because you're not also knowledgeable to identify phishing email. Somebody can tell you that your account will be blocked soon if you don't click this email, if you don't click this link. And before you know it, you've clicked the link, you've entered your password is displayed in another person's profile, and then they can log in, kick you out, you've lost your account. So what am I trying to say? If you're able to get this knowledge, it will go a long way to protect you, your family, whoever. And then because of you have this knowledge, it will be easy for you to get a job. But the most important stuff there is get a skill, use it to protect yourself first, and then jobs will come, definitely. Another thing you can see is some persons will ask me, is there physical class or something? I can't really learn from online resources and all that. I do understand that, but you should also note that as tech is growing and everybody is living the old and traditional way of doing things. Imagine your your dad left some cowries for you those days. You can see that cowries is no longer important. Probably you'll be using it to decorate your house or probably burn them, right? But what if your dad actually invested in stocks back then? How much do you think is going to be as of now? So my point here is that try to leave the traditional way of doing stuffs and move to the tech, making use of tech to make life easy. There is no going back. That is the honest truth. If you look at the evolution of money, it started with I think trade by barter. You give me rice, I give you beans, and then it is bulky, right? They redesigned it to maybe gold, but you can see that gold too is also expensive to carry. They redesigned it to fiat, which is the government printed money. Then what happened? You can see plenty problems that is associated with it, like inflation, government trying to print money to solve a problem, and they keep adding to the supply. And wherever there is supply, what happens? Too much supply, the demand will fall, right? So you see the reason why probably blockchain will be the next. So don't limit yourself in trying to follow the old way of learning. Adapt to e-learning, right? E-learning is one of the best way you can learn any stuff without being there. You can actually register for courses in Harvard University online without going to Harvard, right? Don't wait till those instructors have come to your locality to build a place, and then after discussing with your government, they might not be successful. 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe you want to go to class today, something happened, rain started falling, you didn't go. Nobody can learn that way, right? So my whole point here is try to see how to everything that has been on the traditional way has its tech way, right? If you look at the market before it's that you must go to the market, you price this one, how much is it? They tell you 500. You see, it's not 450, right? But now you can buy these things online without even stepping out of your house, right? Look at marketing. How was marketing done before? You have to actually convince people, go street by street. But now you can launch adverts, online ad, right? And it can reach millions of people within 2 days, depending on however you want to position that. So don't limit yourself. That is the most important stuff. Don't limit yourself. Somebody was telling me there was this thing that happened, I think sometime June, July. Somebody told me, she told me that she's not good in learning online, right? Therefore, she can't take the course I was offering. Then what happened? She actually relocated to Canada, and she was telling me that almost all her courses is online, and she just has to cope, right? So many people are passing through the same thing. Don't limit yourself. That is the best summary. Only you can limit yourself. Only you can tell yourself, I don't want to do this, and probably you won't do it. But if you have made up your mind to follow that path, try your possible best to reach to the end, right? There is no stopping. Tech is not going to stop because you are not familiar with it or you find it so difficult to learn. It's not going to stop. If you call any person in some of the African countries, almost everybody has passed through one way or the other, being somebody trying to scam them or probably succeeded in scamming them, right? So do your best to protect your online footprint. It is very, very important. It's very, very important. All right, I don't wish to spend so much time here, and also want you to enjoy your weekend, right? As you go to bed, Try to think about it. Am I really on the right path? What can I do to upscale? What can I actually do to bring my everybody have this skill. Everybody have it. In fact, you can't tell me that you are using a phone without using a password. Meaning that everybody have this skill, but the most important thing is how can you even go deeper to see exactly what you need to do. All right, I will leave you here for now, and thank you for your time as well. More of this. Peace.